Hey guys, welcome back to an Arcane Odyssey video, and today I will be going over the best weapon loadout for PvP and PvE. First up, as a PvE player, we must acknowledge that defense is a priority, and staying alive is extremely important, especially in scenarios when you are up against dragons. The shield is a vital part of PvE playstyle and can help aid the player in gaining a bit of extra defense. Now, if you do not have the Dragon Great Shield, I would highly recommend using the Spiked Tower Shield or the lower level Dragon Shield. As for enchants, I would not recommend Ardent, as Ardent is currently getting a huge defense nerf to shields. I would recommend Armored or Dense if you use the shield abilities. Secondly, in PvE, long-range combat is usually preferred, and despite the nerf to gun and bow M1 damage, they are still extremely good. I do not recommend using muskets in PvE or the multi-pistols. Instead, I would highly recommend using the Dragonbone Great Bow or the normal Dragonbone Bow. Now, if you are a Conjurer and you do not have these, you can step down to the Siren Bow or Storm Collar. For bow skills, you want to primarily use Quick Draw and Rain of Arrows. Lastly, for PvE players, the last weapon you will need in your kit is a long-bladed weapon. Now, the long-bladed weapons here that are the best are Commodore Kai's Saber for speed, but if you do not want to use a long-bladed weapon with a lower damage modifier, I would highly recommend the Samurai Katana for damage. For these weapons, you want to focus on spamming the Dragon's Fury skill. Moving on to the PvP aspect of weapons, there are going to be some varied opinions, and there is no truly best loadout, but from what I have personally used and what from other people have used and I've gotten recommendations, these are the top weapons that currently rule over PvP. Starting with Warrior, you need to use these three weapons as a Warrior player, starting with Triesta of Bronze. Now, the Triesta of Bronze is a very good weapon, as you can get Ethereal Flash and Sparrow Thrust, and these are pretty good for close range combat. Swift Shot Musket, and then lastly the multi-hit pistols, but I think the multi-hit pistols are a bit terrible in PvP because sometimes, especially if you're fighting a Zerker, they're going to be darting around and you're never going to be hitting your multi-hit pistols, so I would recommend the Atlantean Greatsword, which can apply severe bleeding, and yeah, it's got some good Tempest, it has good AoE skills. Now, when using this kit, you want to play from afar when using your gun, and you'll catch them in end-line usually, and you just want to use Piercing Shot. Now, the Atlantean Greatsword, it has good damage, but just use this for Tempest, and if you have it, Roar of Glory. Now, Roar of Glory will give you a buff, and it's really good. You can get this from the Cidaros weapon, and they can drop from Jal, Evar, and the Nimbus C. Warlord. Warlord weapons should have at least a bronze musket in their kit, just like Warrior, to make up for how slow their weapons attack. The second weapon choice should be a Colossal Greatsword with the skills Tempest, Colossal Cleave, Raging Chaser, and Flashball Strike. Lastly, the Dragon Lance with Sparrow Thrust to get quick damage while in the air. Lastly, Conjurer. Now, despite the addition of Arcanium weapons to the game, you want to use either the Arcanium Dual Katana or Arcanium Katana. And do not imbue your Arcanium weapons unless you have the following magics: Glass, Crystal, Earth, Explosion, Ice, Metal, Sand, Shadow, Snow, and Wood. Now, this is an issue if you do not have these magics when imbuing, because you will get a lower damage multiplier when imbuing weapons like Fire and Plasma. Now, those two magics and the magics that I have not listed are going to give your weapon less damage if you imbue. Arcanium weapons will already have the status effect of your magic when you equip them in your hotbar, so there is no need to imbue it unless you want to get a higher damage multiplier from your magic. On your Arcanium Dual Katana or your Arcanium Katana, you want to have the Mirrored River or the Flashball Strike ability and Flying Phoenix. Secondly, you want to use either the Greatsword with a Tempest skill, or if you do not want to play with a high size multiplier build, you want to use Spear with Sparrow Thrust, or the Sunken Sword with Rising Tide. Lastly, surprisingly, it's going to be the Bronze Musket once again because it has really high damage and speed, And this weapon's really good if you're running slower magic, because it's going to do even higher damage because of your imbuement, and it's going to make up for how slow your magic is.